Hello again. I just wanted to go over a couple of things just to kind of help you out, get you started on your Descript journey. So what I wanted to do is kind of cover a quick tutorial on the screen layout, Descript layout, the important toolbars, navigating, hiding and organizing the real estate on the application, editing, changing a word, making a capital, removing punctuation, adding and changing a word or phrase, why create a new text line, how to save a document, how to share a document, how to export a video, and things to watch out for. So this is like the 10,000 foot. There's so much more underneath the hood, but this is where to kind of get started and how to navigate and use Descript on day one to edit your first video text. So let's first go over the important toolbars. There is the top toolbar here. There is this toolbar here. There is a toolbar here. There's a toolbar on this side, and there's another toolbar here. So when you open this up, you'll probably see this toolbar down, or this whole section down here. So this is called the timeline. To hide this, you just click on workspaces and then hide timeline. You can hide the video as well if you wanted to, and you just want to look at the text and go through the text. And if you want to hear the text, then you click play and pause up here, and that will play and pause it. So I'm not going to go through everything, but the first thing that everybody wants to do is they want to know, how do I export this out? So I go up to File, Export. So that's the big one to note. And maybe when I'm doing these, if you want to take notes on different things, that you want to refer, you could do that as well, because this might help you out. This is how to export it, and I'll go over exporting this after we've made some edits, but that's how you do that. We're going to skip through all of these things. The next thing is, when you start getting antsy with the mouse and you say you're spending too much time with the mouse, what you can do is click on Help and then go to Keyboard Shortcuts. Keyboard Shortcuts gives you this great list of exactly that, a ton of keyboard shortcuts. So this is how you can play and pause a video, hitting the space bar. What I normally like to do is I will pick up 1 or 2 every day or two when I'm starting a process, and I'll look at this and I'll say, okay, I'm going to really try to practice hitting play and pause using the spacebar today. And then I'll do that, and I'll do that, and I'll just work on one. I'm not going to try to memorize 15 of them. It's just using one. So that's how I do that. And I'm going to skip everything else. So over here is the D. So you can go back to your drive. So the way Descript works is you save everything to what's called their drive, your drive. So your drive is kind of like your workspace or your desktop. So that's where your files are going to be saved. And you can get back to the drive by also clicking this arrow here. So when I click the drive and I go back to drive, this is going to be where you see the 2 files that I sent to you. When you want to create a new one, you can come up and click on Create New. Yours might look a little different than mine because I'm using a different version. But this is, that's how you would do that. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to get inside it. I just clicked once and I'm inside. Same thing there. This is how you name the file. So if you want to name this something else, maybe put the date behind it of the interview or rename it whatever, you can do that by going right there, and then you can rename it. This is where you are in the actual video. This is the time of the video, so notice the cursor is down here. Also, when I hover over something and I click on it, it gives me a little gray time on where my cursor is at. So I'm right now at 1 minute 12 seconds. And I come down here and I'm at 1 minute 53 seconds. And I can also see that up here in a much larger format. So that's that. If you want to go back 5 seconds, if you're listening to something, what did I just say? Click on this button and we'll go back 5 seconds, and then you can play it again. And then we'll jump forward 5 seconds. This is going to be your volume when you're talking. You're going to see if you're hitting the red zone. That's important, or if you're not really registering much, you'll see you're down there. You really want to stay closer to this portion up here. I will take care of the audio though. It's a whole nother beast, and sounds really easy, but it's really not. This is it says published. It's because I did a test run on this, so I'll show this to you afterwards. But you can actually publish this out to a web page so that your collaborators, maybe teammates or anybody who's working on the project with you, can also comment on it without creating a Descript file. They can actually literally just use the URL and make edits to comments, not the actual words like you're doing. You're the owner of this, so you want to have control over what's being edited. But you can have people make comments on certain sections, so we'll go over that as well. So over here are different. If you see this pop open, which does happen sometimes if you start clicking around, you'll see the button that's clicked. Just click it again, and it'll make it disappear. Same thing with over here. You'll see these can pop open, and then to make them disappear, you click on the hamburger icon, makes it expand. Hamburger icon again, makes it disappear. So when we come over here, this is going to be basically our editing toolbar. This is mostly different things, so we'll go over some of this. Let me just keep going over the menu bar here. This is, when I click on this is the way you think about this. Like, if you think about it like a OneNote document, this is more like a page inside of it. So if you want to create another page, you can create another page. And the reason why you would want to create another page would be, let's say you want to copy a section out of this page, copy it. So you're leaving it in sync, you're leaving it in order, but you can literally copy this text, create a new page, paste that text into the new page. Now all of a sudden we've got snippets of the video and a brand new video that you can publish, and just publish that video. Maybe it's a teaser video, maybe it's a highlight reel, maybe it's a podcast, whatever you want. But that's something that's a separate thing. But it is possible, so that's why I want to mention that to you. And of course, if you have logos or anything, you can import them, and now all of a sudden we're building a lot of assets in here, and that's where you get all these assets from, is from this section. But for now, the big thing that you're probably going to be looking for is the search bar. So I click on the search bar. This is where we're going to get into finding those and ahs, and they're called pause words. So the pause words are found when you click over here. You click on this drop down. When you click on the drop down, you can see filler words, and all of these filler words are going to show up. We went through this before, so all of them are already selected, and I selected ignore, and I have clicked apply all to them. So those are all ignored now. If you wanted to find a different word, you probably won't have that list. But if you wanted to find a different word like circular, I can see that you said circular twice in here. So when I click on this, it shows me that section. When I click on this one, it drops me down to this section. So the section I think I want is this section. You can click right there, and then, so you found it. Now you can work on it here. That's basically what you would use that for. So you can go ahead and do like a massive find and replace and things like that. I won't get to that in this video, but I did just want to show you that. So that's how you get rid of those filler words, because on the other video, the filler words are still there. So we went over the important toolbar, we went over navigating, organizing the real estate. So I can click on this and drag it and drop it and move it around. And Again, if you didn't want to see the video, you could just come over here and hide the video. So now you're working on the document. And if I wanted to listen to the document,
circular economy, which allows the community to use waste.
perfect. So I can play it and I don't even need to see it. I can just work on the document and making sure that it sounds right and that the words are associated correctly with the timing. So we've gone through that. Now let's talk about changing a word. If I want to change a word over here, I'm looking for a word to change. So, perfect. So I want to change this Virginia to Vermont. Let's just say we want to change it. So I'm going to double click it. And when you double click it, you can right click it and you can say correct. Notice the E is right there. So after you've clicked correct a couple hundred times, you might say, I don't want to click that anymore. I just want to double click it and then click E on my keyboard and I can it'll pop open and my hand's still on the keyboard and now I can type in. So at the beginning, what you're probably going to want to do is highlight, right click, click correct. You can also double click it or highlight it. And then on the bottom here, it says correct. So you can change it that way as well. So another thing that you can do is you can change a phrase. So you don't have to change the single words, but you can highlight both of the words. Notice I did not select the comma there. I click on correct and I say East Vermont. Now that replaced it and it has East Vermont and the comma still there. If I was to highlight everything with the comma and click correct, then you'll see the comma is there as well. So it's a little fine tuning there. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. So that's how you change a word. Now, if you wanted to add a word in between two words, let's say these two words right here, and you wanted to say something in the middle of those two words. What a lot of people want to do, because it's natural, is they want to click in there and you want to start typing. Well, it's not going to work. It'll never work. What you want to do is you want to highlight the start and the end word, and everything that you want to change in the middle, you can now do that. You just right click and you click on correct. So now I click in the middle. You can type whatever you want here. So I'm leaving the first word, the last word, I'm putting in whatever I want. I can change this too. It's all changeable because it's really just the selection. What's happening technically is as soon as I'm done with this, you're going to see a little line. It's like a dotted line that's going to be underneath here. This dotted line is saying all of these words have to fix to this sound that was made at this time in the audio. Because I know in is at the right time, and I know address is at the right time. So whatever this time is, all of these characters need to fit that time. So the software doesn't have feelings, it just needs to know what is associated with what. So when I click on correct, you see how there's that underline? And what's happening is it's thinking, and it's trying to adjust and saying, I know where in is, I know where west is, I know where these words are. Now it's just created a one-to-one correlation to the text that's going to show up on YouTube with the time that is at that moment in time with that sound. It really doesn't have anything to do with the sound, but the sound helps denote which word is being said that it does recognize and that is correct. So these words are now all going to happen at the one time in the video where that happens. So that's how that works. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. Yeah, so that's how you change the word or phrase. So sometimes what I like to do is, instead of having a paragraph here to go through, is as I'm going through and I'm going through my edits, I just click on the end, the last word, and I'll go through and I will end it on a period, and I will start a new sentence with a new line. I'm just going through and I'm hitting enter. So I'm reading through this, I'm listening to it, it all sounds good. Now I'm on to the next line. Go through this, stop, bring it down, and then I go to the next line. Stop, listen to it, everything sounds good, boom. So this is more like a checklist for me so that I know what I'm doing and where I'm at. That's the only reason why. All of this stuff that we're doing is just for the text that's going to appear on YouTube. So it's not anything that you add here isn't going to add anything to the video unless the video is being burnt onto the screen, as I was showing you before with the possibility of you doing that with Dr. Green. So that's one way of doing it. And that's how you make lines and separate lines and do things like that. Let me go through, and as I'm here, what I can also do is I come up here to this plus sign, I click this, and then I go to marker. And this is just a marker. Or is it? So, the real question is what else does this do? When you export this video out from Descript, these markers can also be the chapters. So it could just be used for your on-screen kind of cue of what is about to be said, and or you just left off and you're going to work or whatever. But this is also something where you're looking at it now and you're saying, okay, this section is related to whatever. And so in order to make a YouTube chapter, you could literally write the chapter out as a marker, and that will be imported into YouTube as a chapter, but only if you do a direct import. So there are some quirks about it and some steps, but it is kind of a neat way of doing it. There's other ways of doing it, but it's just one of the ways that you could do this. So in order to have that done, though, when you do the upload, you do the file, export it as, you would go to YouTube. When you choose YouTube, you would sign in with your YouTube username and password, and then it will directly import it and it will take those things over. So yeah, we'll dive into that more if you want to learn more about that. How to save the document. So how to save the document's always saved. So that's the great one. So there is no file save as. Everything's saved automatically. Every time a mouse is clicked, everything is moved. It's automatically synchronized. So this is a great thing. So there is no saving of the file, no saving of the document. How to share the document. You click on share, and then you put in the person's email address, and then you can click on, I don't know if you can do this on the free account. I just don't know. But that's how you do it. You put in the address and you hit enter, and now you're sharing it with them. So that's one way of doing it. Now the other way of doing it, I want to draw your attention to this because this is a really cool way for you to collaborate with people without having them or asking them to download a new software and learn all of these new things, because this can be a little overwhelming to the average person, especially if they're just trying to help you. So for those that just want to help, they don't want to download Descript and learn and all of these things. They just want to see your video and provide some feedback so that you can take that feedback and change the video, edit the video, do something, and before we go to production with it. So what you do is you go up to File, then Publish, and I can publish it. I save it as a name. Say anybody with this link can access it, and I've already published it. See how it says republish and unpublish? And I'm allowing anybody to comment, and I'm showing the transcript. So when I do that and I click on publish, what happens is it produces the video with text over here on the side. So this text is pretty cool because this is your transcript.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
And as
In
you're
Touch. My name is Dr.
talking,
Olufade.
it's going to highlight where you are. So that's kind of interesting. Now down here I see this, and I saw it was highlighted in yellow, and it's because I wrote 38 minutes ago, this is perfect. So this is my feedback. If your people want to provide feedback, all they have to do is highlight the section and then click on the plus, and then I can leave feedback here. Post it. Oops. Post it. There we go. So you can get that feedback from different people, and everybody can be on this page at the same time. You can search the transcript. I mean, it's really pretty cool to be able to have this feature where people can come in and leave comments and feedback so that you can polish up the video before sending it out. So that's how we do that. And perfect. Again, I went up to File and then Publish to do that. So it's a great feature. That's how you share it. How to export it, you go up to File, then Export. If you wanted to bring this to a video, just like an MP4, you would just click this MP4, and then you would download it as a video. Now remember, what we're doing here is we're doing this entire thing for, we're trying to make the video smooth. We're taking out any of the pause words, polishing any retakes. So it's a really professional, we're getting closer to that professional quality video that you can export out to YouTube. But the other reason why you're doing this, and the reason why you're changing the words especially, is for that closed caption option on YouTube. So the closed caption option happens because we're exporting it as a subtitle. So we're going to export the video, and then we're going to export the subtitle. All this text is for the subtitle. Every time there's a word that's being said on the screen, this text you want to appear if the person has the closed caption on. So if that's happening, that's because of this SRT file. So this is a standard 42 characters per line, 2 lines. That's the standard that it happens. So when you upload your YouTube video, the MP4, you also upload the SRT, and when you do that, now the two things kind of merge inside of YouTube or Vimeo, and that's where you get the closed captions from. Not only do you get that, but you also get the benefit of being, the words are right, and because they make sense, then you turn that into an SEO benefit. So your videos will become more search optimized because you're adding raw SRT files versus having YouTube do that on its own. So that's how you export the video. Things to watch out for is deleting words. So I showed you how to change a whole section of words. But if I wanted to go in there and just say, well, you know what, these words I don't want, so I click delete. It's a very natural reaction to just click delete. The thing about it is it's not really gone forever, but it's hard to notice when you're scanning through everything. So the hard to notice part makes it so that it could become frustrating. And when you delete it, the words do still jump over just like you're ignoring it, but you just don't see it. So it is still there, though. I can highlight this section and come up to File, and then, no, not File, Edit, Restore Removed Media. And what this will do, Edit, Restore Remove Media. Oops. Edit, Restore Remove Media. So remember that start and end time were not selected. That's why it wasn't happening before. So that's exactly why I say this is not a best practice. Click delete. Just use this function, and that'll work perfectly. So now we can still see it. It's just struck it out, and it still jumps over. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. That's how and why you would want to stay away from deleting stuff. Just use the strike through because it does the same thing, and then you can see it on the screen as well. So that's kind of the overview. A little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope you picked up some things, and it's good to have something like this so you can reference it back in the, or make notes. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Descript is very well documented. It's got a great community. So there's a lot of people out there trying to help promote this. Thanks again, and I will talk to you later.